Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Thank you for your cooperation. What does that remind you of? RoboCop. Remember that movie? Well, I'm talking about the original. RoboCop may not be quite real yet as far as drivers are concerned, but there is a brand new generation of AI-powered cameras that are now being rolled out in the UK, and they're going to keep a very close eye on you. How? Well, I'll tell you right after this.
A brown car guy. Brown car guy.
So they're not only coming, they're here. So according to a press report out a couple of days ago, almost 300 drivers were caught by AI cameras on the A30 in 72 hours. That was in July. So these new AI cameras are being rolled out. They are being deployed in Greater Manchester from 2 days ago, 3rd of September, as I record this. And they can catch you on a number of things. Actually, I've got a quick cheat sheet here. So here's what you should know about these cameras. They can detect mobile phone use. The AI cameras can identify drivers who are using mobile phones while you are driving, including holding the phone to your ear or simply having it in your hand. So they can look into your car and they can see, you are clearly holding a phone, and they can book you for that. Seatbelt detection. The camera can also detect whether the driver and passengers are wearing seatbelts. So I'll tell you one thing. You know, sometimes you put your seatbelt on and then you just put your coat over it and stuff like that. Don't do that anymore. Make sure that that seatbelt is visible. You know what? I take a white marker and write seatbelt across the belt. So that this seatbelt, I'm wearing it, just to be sure. These things have high resolution imaging. The AI cameras capture high resolution images of the interior vehicles, providing clear evidence of infractions such as the above. Speed monitoring, of course. The AI cameras can analyze a vehicle's speed and capture detailed information about that vehicle. Automated processing. The AI systems automatically process the data collected from these cameras, cross-referencing with the departments such as DVLA to identify the owners. So they can do this virtually straight away. You know what I'd like to see? Something that we haven't seen in the UK, but we did have, for example, in the UAE. Been done maybe a couple of times by speed cameras over there. Never here, touch wood, by the way, so far. But what would happen over there is that if you thought you had been done, you could actually log on to the Dubai Police website and you could actually check, because it would come up almost instantaneously, or certainly within a few hours. So you could see straight away and go, oh God, and then you could just go, I just pay the fine and get it done. So that was one way to check. But over here, like, until you get the envelope coming to your letterbox, you don't know if you've been done or not. And I think that that would be a good thing, where they could just update it instantaneously so you could check whether or not you've been done. But these cameras, so the idea of these cameras is part of the UK's broader Vision Zero strategy, which aims to eliminate road fatalities and serious injuries by 2041. Surely autonomous cars are going to do that, right? By leveraging AI, the government seeks to improve enforcement of road safety laws, reduce human error, and ultimately save lives. The technology is seen as a critical tool in addressing behaviors that are difficult to monitor consistently with traditional methods, such as people using mobile phones while they're in the car, which you can't necessarily see normally. There is a map here of where the cameras are being rolled out. So Greater Manchester, I've already mentioned, Durham, Humberside, Norfolk, Northants, Staffordshire, West Mercia, don't even know how to pronounce that, Thames Valley, Sussex, and Wiltshire. So Transport for Greater Manchester has introduced the AI cameras. They've been built by a technology company called Acusensus. And this company says that the cameras provide automated recognition of people using mobile phones while driving. So they can do that. It captures footage of passing vehicles. It can track moving objects at speeds of up to 300 kilometers per hour. I don't know why they've given that in kilometers per hour. That's a bit odd, isn't it? But let me just do a quick conversion. So that's up to 190 miles per hour. Wow, if you're doing 190 miles per hour, good luck to you. But you remember, there used to be a thing, Let me just see if I can find that out. I think it was 170 or 180 miles per hour that the traditional Gatso camera, that's when it failed. It wouldn't be able to, you'd go too fast and it wouldn't be able to catch you. But this thing, they're talking about 300 kilometers per hour. So they're talking about 190 miles per hour that it can do it. So if you're in a supercar, you might still get away with it at over 200 miles an hour. But other than that, you're going to be done. Oh, sorry to interrupt. Are you enjoying the video? Well, make sure you've punched the like button. It helps. 2 photos are taken. One of a shallow angle, which captures if a driver has a phone to their ear and checks whether a seatbelt is being worn. And a second deeper angle, which can see if a person is texting in front of them. Blimey. The AI footage is then examined by a human to confirm that the software is correct and an offense has indeed been committed. So that at least is one thing. They're not automatically sending out fines. At least a human is going to actually look at the picture and go, oh yeah, that does look like somebody's texting on their phone whilst driving at 189 miles per hour. But then we have to rely that human is doing that properly. If the human check confirms that an offense has been committed, then the driver will be issued with a penalty charge notice. But if the image is incorrect, shows no offense has been committed, then Acusensus says it will be immediately deleted from the archives. The state-of-the-art cameras can be mounted to a trailer or vehicle and are positioned higher than traditional speed or traffic cameras. They'll be used by safer roads, Greater Manchester, etc., but as we know, they're being rolled out everywhere else. Data from the Department for Transport found that 400,000 motorists a year use mobile devices while at the wheel. Drivers are 4 times more likely to be involved in a crash if they're using a phone whilst they're driving. Motorists are also twice as likely to die in a crash if they don't wear a seatbelt. Wear seatbelts, people. And I did a recent video which showed that there was a high percentage of people in the UK actually still, surprisingly, amazingly, I mean, like, to me, it's just an instant reflex. It's just a habit. Put a seatbelt on, you know. So that's some key things about this. The police forces across England have extended an ongoing trial that began in 2021, which will now run until 2025. 10 police forces taking part in the rollout, like I said, is the list that I showed you on the map earlier. The trial is aimed at helping police forces to understand how the AI technology could work on the national highway roads and shape the nationwide rollout. So it's not nationwide yet. It's in those areas that I showed you on the map, but it's what they're looking to do eventually. In future, AI cameras would be attached to gantries on motorways in the trial region. So you know the gantry. You know I wonder if they're still painted yellow though. Surely they have to be. The cameras that I can see in the pictures that they've put in the article are not painted yellow. So that's interesting. The rollout of AI cameras has the backing of many safety organizations, including the RAC and the AA. Rod Dennis from the RAC said despite the penalties for using a handheld phone having doubled to 6 penalty points and a £200 fine 7 years ago, it's clear that far too many drivers are still prepared to put lives at risk by engaging in this dangerous practice. We suspect a major reason for this is lack of enforcement, meaning many drivers have no fear of being caught. AI-equipped cameras that can automatically detect drivers breaking the law offer a chance for the tide to be turned. The police can be everywhere all the time. Hey, no kidding. Ask my local Boots. They get robbed 3 times a day. So it may make sense that forces took to the best available technology that can help them catch drivers acting illegally. Now, Jake Herfart from privacy group Big Brother Watch told the Daily Telegraph, unproven AI-powered video analytics should not be used to monitor and potentially criminalize drivers. This kind of intrusive and creepy, this is still a quote, creepy surveillance, which treats every passerby as a potential suspect, is excessive and normalizing. It poses a threat to everyone's privacy. People should be free to go about their lives without being analyzed by faceless AI systems. Police have said the pictures are anonymized to remove identifying features such as the make of the vehicle, number plates, or passenger. Only if a driver is prosecuted are the images matched to registration details. So I guess what they're saying there is that when the photo is passed to the human that checks it, it's anonymized. And if they find that, oh yeah, the offense has been committed, then the details of the vehicle and stuff are revealed. But then it's still stored somewhere unless it's deleted. Anyway, do you agree with that guy about that this is an encroachment on privacy? I mean, the thing is that living in London, there's cameras everywhere. So surely we're way past that. You know, there's cameras watching you all the time. So it's kind of difficult really to argue that case. Isn't it encroachment on your privacy if the car is looking at you when there's already cameras all over the motorways anyway? I don't know. You tell me what you think. I mean, the reality is that really you shouldn't be on the phone, and you should be wearing your seatbelt. So those two things are a legal requirement, and they're also a safety requirement. You should be focusing on driving. When you're driving, you should be driving. Trouble is, with modern cars, there's so many safety systems in them that they do make you a little bit complacent, and people feel like, oh, they can get away with that because the car will look after me. But then there are driver monitoring systems now also, as I covered previously, that are being made compulsory in cars, certainly in Europe, and then that by effect means that they'll be available everywhere, particularly from 2026, that will be monitoring. Actually, I haven't done a video on this. Sorry, I've done an article on this that Motor Easy has published. I'll put a link for that in the description. But there's an article about how it's becoming mandatory for driver monitoring systems in new cars. And those systems are watching your eyes. So they know that the moment you take your eyes off the road, you will get a warning beep or something or other that will tell you that. And ultimately, the best of those systems could actually, if they think that you're distracted, say if you're falling unconscious or something like that, they could actually pull you over and stop the car and call the emergency services. So I don't know how useful or practical this is, but at the end of the day, it is illegal to do that. You should not be doing that. You should be focusing on driving. Anyway, look forward to hearing your thoughts on this, and I'll catch you all in the next video.
Yo, it's quantum race, tales from the future's face. 13 stories gonna take it to outer space. From Martian canyons deep to Dubai's high rise. Secret lives, AI drives to the man who flies. Pedal to the metal in a 325. Race through time, keeping hope alive. AI takeovers, more lines than blur. Get your engines ready, rev it up for sure. Quantum races, lessons at the finish line. Fast-paced fiction to blow your mind. Tap and turn, more survivals to grind. Get lost in the pages, see what you find. Past predators hunt, tomorrow's man leads. Dystopian dreams where the future feeds. From India to the Middle East, stories collide. Uncharted roads in this epic ride. Jump in the driver's seat, feel the thrill. Speeding through the cosmos, choosing that chill. Worlds without wheels, secrets to unfold. In quantum races, legends are told. Quantum races, lessons at the finish line. Fast-paced fiction to blow your mind. Tap and turn, more survivals to grind. Get lost in the pages, see what you find.
Shout out time, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, if you enjoy my content, why not get involved? Buy me a coffee. You can do that at either of these links. Or if you're watching on YouTube, buy me a thanks or take out a membership. It all helps. It really does.